All right, we're recording. Right.
Sorry about my absence there for a few minutes, lads. I was just my nephew was dropping off some shopping there to me, so I was putting that away and just talking to him at the door for 2 minutes. So.
Oh no, super cool, super cool. I always prioritize family. Don't worry about it. And you know, because we were roaming around the last few minutes anyway, just kind of off. So, and see, this is when the block party really becomes a party. It's in these late hours, and we're just kind of, you know how like at the beginning of a party, people come and they knock at the door, and everyone's all formal and everything, and everyone's trying to be all perfect. This is freaking 5:30 in the morning. We're just drooping around the living room, just kind of hanging around.
Drooping around.
You know, and I'm like, hey, James, what are you drinking? He's like, a Guinness. I'm like, can I have some? He goes, it's warm. I'm like, I don't care. And, you know, I just drink from James's pint-sized Guinness can. I mean, this is what's going on. We're eating stale Cheetos. We're smoking the rest of half-smoked cigarettes. It's that kind of late night, you know. That's just where we're at. It's a good thing we're recording for all this. Anyway.
That's quite a visual, Jamin.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So
and people should know. That's very true.
I mean, it's what happens when you're freaking 24 hours into a party. You know, it's just like, But you see, the very dopiness of it, there's a freedom in that, a freedom of expression. See, it's like we've gotten past all the bullshit, and we can just go deeper into the bullshit.
But it's really cool though that you could nod off, you know. Also, you're into the party, but you're gonna go into your corner, and you're gonna nod off for like an hour or 2 or 3.
Exactly.
No big deal.
Yeah, the party rocks on.
Call it the zombie phase.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's happening here? This is like the early stages of the evolution of a new culture of humanity. You remember how I talked hours ago, or maybe it was yesterday, about how we about how the American identity was born out of a medium, print, you know, newspaper and books. That's what gave the Federation its common national identity. Well, likewise, this medium is giving us our planetary identity, right? We got Irish, Canadians, Americans. We've had like something like 17 or 18 countries so far. I think 17 countries on the block party.
Well, we're definitely in the position to set the trend, right? Trendsetters of the 20th century. The corona years.
It's you know, but beyond trendsetters, see, it's like there've been trend after trend after trend for caterpillars. We're doing a phase transition to butterfly. It's like, it's way beyond trend. It's a whole new species, essentially, that we're creating here. The superintelligent collective humanity. We're creating the colony, the planetary colony. And this culture is part of the glue that's holding us together. You got Zoom, you got video conferencing, you got the culture, and then the rest of the platform that we're building out, Snack Bar. Finally, we can open up our eyes. Remember, like when we went to the moon. You see how I'm already. You see, even a year ago, I would have said, remember when astronauts went to the moon. Now I'm saying, remember when we went to the moon, because I'm thinking as a species. You see the difference? When we went to the moon, here, there's a video that captures this very well. Let me pull it up. And I won't necessarily play the whole of it, and I think you've all seen it, probably. But here it is.
In 1972, as the Apollo 17 crew left Earth's orbit for the moon, they shot this famous photograph. After hundreds of thousands of years of human existence, for the first time, we saw our world as a whole.
Okay. So from there, consider that it is through this new lens that we're seeing our problems, their solutions, meta-solution, and root causes as a whole. And this is an important part of ourselves and an important part of our world that the Apollo spacecraft could not show us. For this, we had to go deeper. We had to get radical. We had to get down to the roots and way up into the stratosphere and all the layers of the sandwich in between. Imagine with that tequila, Emery, you had a delicious sandwich or torta to eat with it.
And now we're able to see beyond the global dimming as well, so it's even clearer.
Yeah, exactly. We're now seeing aspects of ourselves, and we're seeing our liberation from that smog for the first time, and we're seeing liberation from slavery to jobs and commuting and all this stuff and all these expectations that we had put on ourselves, that the culture, mother culture, had put on ourselves.
It's amazing here in Montreal that they put a limit on people boarding a bus. Man, 15 people on a bus.
Yeah, no, that's. I think that sounds like about 5 too many. Probably cap it at 10. But anyway.
Well, I'm not sure about the exact number, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Pretty wicked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that doesn't bend your mind, right?
Yeah, this whole thing is so mind-bending and so world-bending. It's that's a third element of why we're in such a right position for this. It's mind-bending. Not only is everyone at home and on Zoom with free time to do nothing other than Zoom, basically. Not only is everyone acutely aware, painfully aware of our daunting problems, but third, our mind is being bent and our reality is being bent and reality is fluid. So this is just the perfect conditions for collective superintelligence.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm gonna work on a couple of videos. I'm gonna start working on a video today.
Awesome memory. Awesome.
I'll put it up on Wakelet. I think I'll share that once it's done there.
Cool.
I found a really good visualization online of it's a combination of, it shows articles, the dates they were published, and deaths from the coronavirus over periods of time, and it lays it out over time and visualizes it like in a really elegant way. And I think it's a brilliant demonstration of the kind of like, let's see, this is 2 minutes long, but it like it has a message that you can't convey with words. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
Drop the link in the chat as well.
sure.
It's on Medium. Reddit. That's all one link.
Yes.
There's a site. No sound.
I don't think there is any.
Human life reduced down to a pixel.
You know, in proportional terms, Britain and Spain and Italy are still overwhelming the United States in proportion to in a per capita, deaths per capita. I mean, the United States, we're just a huge country. So,
So how many did they have in China?
you know, I would like rewatching that. because it shows the different flags and whatnot. Anyway, we've got the link. We can rewatch it.
Okay.
Thank you, Nolan. Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of like this it's almost like this feeling of, oh la la, I'm out rowing in my rowboat, and the next thing you know, I'm on the edge of the Niagara Falls. Ah! It just has the didn't you get that sensation of holy fuck, you know?
Yeah, and the thing is that, like you said there, Jamin, Europe as a whole, only one country so far seems to be showing signs of being at the top of the curve, which is Italy, but only coming to the top, towards the top of the curve, really, because they're still their numbers are still climbing and they still have a lot of deaths. But they know that because there's a lag in the amount of time between being diagnosed and the progression of the illness, that that the deaths come later then. So that even though there's, like, every day, what you look at is they look at the figure of people who are being reported infected every day, and then you take 80% off of those figures as being the ones that will have mild cases. 14% will be the ones that will have maybe have to have a little bit of a medical intervention or you know, non-medical intervention, but there's about 5% then will be chronic. And so you kind of take the 5% out of the total of people infected each day as being chronic. So I've been looking at it. There's another site here as well, and it gives the statistics every day. It's an update every morning and every night on all the countries here in Europe and America and all over the world. And I've been watching it's the percentages of deaths according to the number of cases reported and according to the population size. So the sad thing is, like, as with America, it's only starting to maybe come to the top of the curve for New York now, because they've been dealing with a bigger outbreak so long. Like Italy, they've just starting to come to the top of the curve. But for everyone else, all the different countries in Europe as well as all the different states in America, it's still a big uphill battle. It's still gonna spread around, and it's still an uphill battle. Like, so those numbers are going to go up. Unfortunately, they do go up exponentially every 2 or 3 days in the deaths. Like, so, yeah, there's going to be sad times ahead, all right, in it, like, unfortunately. Not being doomy and gloomy, you know, like, but those are the statistics, like.
James, I don't really fully trust those numbers, you know. It's hard for me to accept that in China, where the outbreak started, okay, it ramped up to a lot of deaths, and then at the end of what was it, end of February, or let's see, what was it, and end of February or March, there it went right down, and now
Yeah.
I mean, they're talking about you know, the antidote and the cure, you know, the vaccines. I mean, China didn't incorporate that or do any. I don't know how much they did of that. What's going on there? I mean, I don't think they're reporting. Either they have massive death still ongoing, or there's something else. You know, we just don't know.
Well, that's why I didn't mention China there in the comparisons. I was only using the comparison on the map there. I didn't mention China specifically because I know that, and we all know, even the rest of the countries know that China aren't given the are definitely not giving accurate numbers, because the numbers have never added up from the beginning. But so leaving them aside, what I'm talking about now is that the problem's on everyone else's doorstep now, and the statistics in the countries who are reporting the figures, right, such as in America there now, and in Europe, and that you see the same. You see the figures coming out, right, the World Health Organization figures and everything else. So, but the point is that it's only now starting to get into the exponential phase after having been because it takes 2 weeks to incubate and what have you before you start getting any signs. So a lot of people for the last number of weeks just won't know that they're been infected, and a lot of people in the coming weeks won't know either. So the numbers are going to just continue to grow, because it will continue to spread, because the experts say, like the scientists say, there's no doubt about it. It'll continue on its course. We just have to try and keep the curve down by keeping away from each other for the time being, and stopping the spread, or slowing the spread anyway, not stopping it. We won't stop it, we'll only slow it. And that's the vital part, because it takes the pressure off the hospitals. But in saying that now, because that did get doomy and gloomy, I did just say there prior to when I joined the conversation again, that I wasn't there. I was after missing a bit, because my nephew had called, and he stayed outside the door, and he stayed a few feet back, but he just asked me, was I okay for everything? Did I need any shopping? And I gave him a little list of items, and off he went. And he came back there a while ago with the shopping for me, and left it at my door for me and everything else. And that just goes to show that we are in this crisis, but there's people out there that are willing to help each other, not just family. People, or neighbours and community, they're all showing the good side, and that gives me great enthusiasm and a sense of, as I said, it's in the conversation earlier, in the Divine Feminine with Jackie's conversation, that it heartens me to see the people respond in such a way when we do face adversity, and it shows that there is still a good side to humanity, and we have to hold on to that. We have to nurture that, and this is the place to do that. This is the Block Party is the place to meet people like that, and to nurture that, and try and come up with solutions for crisis like we face today now. So rather than being doomy gloomy all the time, I just saying there's always some good comes out of everything.
Well, definitely try to stay as happy as one can be. That helps the immune system. When you express love, and live your life, and be happy. That just helps you to be healthy. Can't live in total fear now either. That just sets the dominoes in action. You just keep going downhill.
And what could be more happiness generating than participating in the collective superintelligence to save life on Earth?
Exactly.
I'm happy.
Yeah,
Seriously.
exactly. I'm happy.
I'm way happier than I would have guessed that I would be at this moment.
Well, we're using our time wisely.
Exactly. And we're right at the tip of the rocket ship. There may be other rocket ships going on in parallel. And but we're flying in formation. And we're getting into formation. That's it. We're getting into formation. Right.
We're on the launching pad. No, we're getting ready to blast off and count down.
it feels to me like we've already taken off, and now we're accelerating.
Yeah, we're getting in. We're already accelerating, getting into formation, and everyone with the same trajectory.
Yeah.
What are they called? The different segments of a rocket?
The stages: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3.
You know, when they let go, they disconnect from the rocket there.
Yeah, yes. I think they're called stages.
Yeah.
Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3.
Modules or something.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the rockets themselves. Like
Yeah, but when it takes off, there's a lot of different stages it goes through, but it lets go of those modules, and they fall back to Earth, and then
You mean
the
the
main one,
boost?
it continues, it goes on, right?
Yeah, the boosters. You mean the boosters and the canopy
Boosters.
and yeah.
Hey, Uncle Frank, welcome back. Good morning. Uncle Frank, you're just in time for the countdown. It's 6 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. Everyone, please join me with a celebratory countdown from 10, celebrating the successful completion of our 9th collective intelligent block party. 10,
10,
9,
9,
8,
8,
7, 6,
6,
5, 4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
okay. Bye-bye.
Oh, nobody has to leave. We're just celebrating the countdown, that's all. But nobody has to go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. At least not right away.
Symbolic.
Yeah. How you doing, Uncle Frank?
Fine. Just checking out the weather. It's freezing again here
Uh-huh.
this morning.
Yeah.
But, so what were the conclusions?
The conclusions are, here, I'm going to do a screen share for you, Uncle Frank. The conclusions are that we are creating this is the beginning of a topic map to essentially bound the space. Are you familiar with the concept of the spectral radius, the mathematical construct in a multidimensional space? Anyway, you can look it up. It's pretty straightforward. This is basically the spectral radius of the space of topics as dimensions, and so this is intended to span all of the topics. This is the beginning of a topic map, and some of the topics are quite broad. As I mentioned, beginning, here are some other topics that we're going to probably add right here. I'm just kind of giving you the big picture. But here are some other categories that we might add. But the bottom line is that by spanning all these topics, problems, root causes, solutions, and meta solution, with collective superintelligence being the meta solution, we can now, with that as kind of a starting point, like on our website, people can click on those topics and then find all the conversations that are related to a given topic, right? And then join whatever conversation they want. And we've also found some really cool social networking tools. Well, I guess that must have been really interesting, Uncle Frank. I'm just kidding. Uncle Frank. Yeah.
Let's see that second slide again, James.
Sure. And Nolan, can you see when?
Very
Okay.
morning.
All right. So there's the first slide, and the second slide is right there.
Okay. Want to include that in the video.
Sure, sure. In fact, I can. Why don't I just email you the whole slide deck, Emery?
Oh, if you can, yeah, sure.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, let me do that right now before I
Do
forget.
you have, like, you've started to have to organize content, any other content for each section? Where, you know what I mean? Like, let's say you go to hunger. Are there any?
Oh, you mean subtopics under those big topics?
Well, topics that are included under that heading.
Let's
You know,
see.
let's say you're showing hunger on the map.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you go deep, like as you gone deeper, say, okay, hunger in Ethiopia or
Yeah. No, I totally understand what you're asking. The answer is no. We haven't gone deeper yet.
Okay. So Zari was in the house and he left.
Did he leave the house again? Hey, Uncle Frank. You'll be happy to know. Wave if you can hear me. You're looking kind of frozen. And it's not necessarily frozen on the best image of you, Uncle Frank. So please unfreeze as soon as you can. Just kidding. Sometimes way out there. Okay, Cesare writes that his computer was very slow, so maybe he's just rebooting or something. All right. Hey, Uncle Frank.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Okay, as usual, my connection is unstable, so I'm only here half the time, it seems.
That's okay.
Anyway,
That's okay.
I'm assuming you're signing off. I'm going to go out and unfreeze the bird bath.
Okay, good for you. Hey, Uncle Frank, you'll be happy to know that I took a 3-hour sleep. I slept for 3 hours around middle of the night. So,
Well, you need more than that, Jamin.
no, I know. But I'm just saying that this has been the most restful block party for me yet. And this is the 9th consecutive block party. We've now clocked about 220 hours of block party. Yeah.
Now you can move on to Happy Easter.
Yeah. And you know what? It's interesting. If this were a weekly meeting that met for 1 hour per week, we would be, close to 4.5 years in terms of total meeting time. We would have to meet 1 hour per week for 4.5 years to hit the kind of numbers that we've hit in 2 months.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It really is. It absolutely is.
So we'll do something special for the 10th one.
For the 10th one. Yeah.
10. You know how it is, eh? They say like 10 and 12. They're always like these significant numbers.
Well, I think every single week, and 11 is going to be important as well because it's 1-1.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
And then lucky 13, a baker's dozen, right?
Yeah, there's no end to significant numbers, I guess.
That's right. That's right. Ugh. Ah. Well, the birds are chirping away here.
What time do your crows come out?
These days, probably around 7, 8-ish, roughly. Yeah.
So can you tell the time with how they behave? Like, can you set your watch?
No, there's variations because it varies depending on the weather. It's kind of overcast now. But probably more with like rain and wind. That probably affects it a bit more. And also they're kind of in the process of making babies right now. So that affects things. Yeah. It was really cool today because when I was throughout the afternoon, when I was on the back deck standing up, I turned around so that my back was facing the crows, and they really seemed to appreciate that. I guess there's something about like if you're looking right at a certain, species of animal, for them, that's just like, that's some scary stuff. For other species, it's like no problem, right? You look at a cat, you look at a dog, they want you to look at them. But apparently crows, not so much. Even though I'm super friendly with them. I mean, beyond friendly, we're like family. But apparently it made a big difference. And this is one thing, I don't know if you know this about cats, James, but one way to show trust to a cat is you nod and then you look away, right? It's like, I trust you so much, I'm willing to give you my back kind of thing. So maybe it's a similar thing with crows.
I heard a long time ago that when you're looking at an animal, let's say a dog or a cat, when you're focused, when you set your focus right between their eyes, okay, so you're not looking at their eyes, your focus is between their eyes. They notice that. They notice that, and they get really jumpy, or there's a reaction, because that focus is so precise,
Sure.
I don't know what it means, but it means that they're very sensitive, very very plugged in to.
Well, I agree. The crows will definitely have their own collective intelligence, but I don't know what's going on with Jamin's bunch over. They sound like they're very lazy, to be honest, because the crows over here, are up at 4 in the morning, and I know that for a fact, anyway, because they'll be on my roof tapping away at it with bits of bone and all sorts. You could hear them on the roof at 4 in the morning. So I'm just saying, on the lighter side, I think your crows are a little lazy, to be honest, Jamie. if they're waiting till 7. Although you do have a point, crows don't like to fly in the rain. So they probably won't come out of their roost in the morning. They're staying and having a chat.
Now, what do you make, Jamin? What do you make of all the birds falling out of the sky?
Where are they falling out?
Pardon?
Where are they falling out?
Well, the sporadic places. All there's. You just do a little Google it, birds falling out of the sky, and you're gonna get some really.
Is this a recent thing, or is it over like?
Yeah, it's quite a phenomenon, birds
Like,
falling out of the sky.
How recent? Like weeks? Months?
Very recent.
There's a very interesting group of two guys. They call themselves the Two Preachers, and they're on YouTube. They put up posts on YouTube to call the Two Preachers, and they have this charity organization where they help all these poor societies in third world countries, educational programs and things like that. But what they've been doing for the last number of months, actually since last year, before Christmas, I suppose I started following them since last September, we say. But every week or so on YouTube, they put up another post, and it's a collection. They give a little talk at the start, and basically it's just a collection of all the people around the world on the spot, recordings of actual events happening that are climate-related catastrophes going on in the world in real time, and they compile all these collection of videos that people send into them, and I mean people from third world countries now and everything recording these things as they're happening, and they put a compilation of these videos together, these clips, and they put it up, and I think it's called what the hell is going on or something like that, or something weird's happened. I'll check it out there now in 2 seconds, and I'll come back to you, and I'll give you the link. But basically, it's very informative as to what's going on around the world in weather-related, climate-related, and other phenomenon-related things like that. And one of the posts on one of the little clips there last week, and one of them was a guy around a 5G mast, and you literally see all the birds dropping off of it and dropping dead onto the ground all around it, like literally dying in front of you. And there's another post as well in Wales where there's a lot of birds falling and dropping dead in the boreens on the roads. So yeah, there's a lot of that actually happening, a lot of weird behavior from birds going on around the world, and there's loads of those clips in those guys' videos. So it's definitely something to look up. Two Preachers. I don't know if Nolan could get a quicker look at it, or the link on YouTube than I could, no, because I'd have to go off the phone and everything to do it.
What would you like me to look up?
It's a YouTube program by two guys called the Two Preachers. They have their own site, Two Preachers. I'm not sure the name of the programs. I think it's this happened on our planet this week, and it gives basically it's every month it'll show you up from last year. There now September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So it's right up to date with even up in the last week, like with news clips.
Two creatures.
Two Preachers.
Preachers.
Preachers, yeah. This just happened on our Earth.
One of the great challenges in this world is knowing enough about a subject to think you're right.
preacher's son. And when his daddy would visit, he'd come along. When they gathered around and started talking, Cousin Billy would take me walking. Out through the backyard we go walking. Then he looked into my eyes. Lord knows to my surprise, the only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. He was. Yes, he was.
You like that, James?
I know that's Dusty Springfield, the son of a preacher
Yeah,
man.
Dusty Springfield. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm on about, I think you might have not heard me properly there. I was on about, on YouTube, there's two guys, and they go by the name of the two preachers.
No, I know. I was just trying to give a little bit
All right, sorry, Jim.
musical backdrop to the story. That's all.
I'm getting a bunch of stuff from two preachers with a title similar to what you're saying. I'm not really sure which one you're looking for specifically. I guess I could screen share here.
Yeah, that's it there. No, we said it, what just happened, and look at we just said look at April this year, no, or March this year. Yeah, what just happened March 2020. If you punch that one in, it'll give us more recent ones. Like.
This is the feel good section of the block party at the very end.
Well, I don't know about feel good, but these clips show you on the spot reports of what's going on the spot from people who are there. So they don't really make you feel good, no, to be honest, but it is a very interesting site to get to know what's going on that doesn't be reported on mainstream media.
Jamin, play this one.
Yeah, any one of those would be good.
You see the link I put?
Hello and welcome back, people. My name is Reza Afshar. This is Chris Bridge.
Not getting the sound there, Todd.
Yeah, we can't hear any sound, Nolan. I'm happy to share it from here if that would be better.
I would prefer that because I think I need to go pass out.
Yeah, you go pass out, Nolan. We won't be far behind you. We're gonna just take a quick look at this. Nolan, great to see you, brother. Dude, thank you so much. And guys, this is pretty trippy. Nolan was supposed to go to bed like 4 hours ago, right? But the conversation, he was just like, all right, just give me a little recap and then I'll go to bed. And I was like, all right, dude. So I started to give him a recap and it got like really cool. And he's like, dude, this is so cool. I can't go to bed now, right? Just like totally radical and tubular and stuff. So we like broke out some smokes and some beers and said, shit, yeah, let's make a party out of it. So here we are. And now it's the morning. I say let's party all day. All right. Great to see you,
Play,
Nolan.
play the video I posted, Jamin, before Nolan leaves.
Nolan, you are forbidden to
goes.
leave until we play the video. You must say, oh, it's only an hour and 41 minutes long.
No,
long. The block party is long. The hour and 41, no problem. All right, let's get this up there.
You only need a taste of it.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you heard, but we just had a big development in the unfolding Spygate investigations. It's just been revealed that the Justice Department's investigation of the FBI...
All right. This is Joss Stone, son of a preacher man.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. All right.
Son, when his daddy was visiting, come along. When they came around and started talking, that's when Billy would take me walking through the backyard, we go walking. Then he looked into my eyes. Lord knows to my surprise, the only boy who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. He was. Oh, yes, he was. Being good isn't always easy, no matter how hard I try. When he started sweet talking to me, kiss and tell me everything is alright. Kiss and tell me everything is alright. Can he get away again tonight? The only boy who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. He was. Oh, yes, he was. How well I remember the look that was in his eyes, stealing kisses from me on the side, taking town to make town, telling me that he's all mine, running from each other nowhere, looking to see how much we've grown, and the only boy who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me, son of a preacher man. So yes, he was. He was. Oh, yes, he was. The only boy who could ever reach me, son of a preacher man. Was the sweet talking son of a preacher man. Said the only boy who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. Was the son of a preacher man. Said what the only boy was the sweet talking son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me. Son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. He was the only boy who could ever reach me. Was the son of a preacher man.
Little Red Riding Hood. Let's start the story.
That was really something. I think one of the things that Nolan appreciated the most about that was you could see the faces of the guys in the audience just like checking out her butt. I mean, that's what I was focused on. Anyway.
I was just really confused by the end. The only boy that can reach her is the son of who?
A preacher man. Is the son of a preacher man.
I think I'm going to need to hear that 20 more times. before it fully sinks in.
It'll be a lot easier if you just get into a time machine, go back into the 1960s and grow up in the 60s for a few years. Then it'll make total sense to you.
I'll get about 12 hours sleep.
or get about 12 hours. See, nothing makes sense to you, Nolan. Hey, Nolan. I'm talking normally, Nolan. Why are you looking so screwed up at me? Nolan, you're tripping, man. I think you need to get some sleep. He's out of there. All right, wise man. Okay, you know what? I think we could all use a little rest. I think 24 hours, 24 and a half hours at this point is long enough time to have made our points in the meeting.
Yeah.
There's a program called 48 Hours, eh?
I think that was around since the 80s.
I don't know. Was it the 80s? I thought it was more recent than that.
Oh, wait. No, there was a movie called 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy. And,
yeah, that was the movie. But then they have a series or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Anyway, it's not a suggestion.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going out into my back garden and I'm going to plant a few rows of potatoes and some vegetables in my plot.
Make sure you take your lighter with you because that's important for planting vegetables and stuff. All right.
Got it right here.
Okay, excellent. All right.
Take care, lads.
Emery.
We'll see you on the...
Natalie, Uncle Frank, Kitty.
Take care, Emery. Take care, Emery.
Love you all. Great to see you guys. Great
see
to
you later,
see you.
Natalie. And see you, Uncle Frank. Take care.
All righty. We'll see you soon. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Care.
Thanks. All righty. Natalie, you have a great night. Great to see you. Emery. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. All right. Go to sleep. I'll go to sleep. Time for sleep. Thanks so much, everyone. Great to see you all.